Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib.
From Boston.
And we have a great show for you today. And if you want to call and ask questions, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857. And we'll be here till about 8 or 8:30 tonight. And man, I tell you what, we got a packed show tonight. And we're definitely going to get to the Berchelt fight, the Berchelt and Valdez fight, and the Broner fight and everything like that. But first, we're going to get started with Vito Malnecki Jr. Vito, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Just relaxing on my rest day. So
there you go. You go. Now you got a fight coming up on Saturday. You're on the undercard with Anthony Durrell, and Chiron Davis. Saturday, February 27th, and you're fighting on Fox TV, National Fox.
Yes, so it's my first. Yeah, it's my first time on Fox. It's my first 8-rounder, and we're ready to go. I fly out. Well, I'm already here, but we go back to the hotel in the bubble and stuff soon, and we're ready.
So before we get into your opponent and everything, tell me how this works, okay? So the fight's in California, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's in a bubble. I mean, it's in the bubble where, no fans or anything like that. How does that whole thing work? Do they keep you like quarantined in a hotel, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, so we're in the bubble. It's in a hotel. It's like a few floors, like just designated for the fighters and the staff for the show. And we have certain times for everything. We have certain times for the workouts, certain times to eat, and we get tested, I think, twice. So it's really just it's a stiff, like the protocols are tight, but they're doing the right thing and what they're supposed to be doing.
So how does it? I mean, do you even have the option to get the shot yet, like that COVID vaccine or whatever? And if you got that vaccine, do you still have to go through all this protocol?
I didn't get the vaccine yet. I don't know what the protocols would be if I did. But I'm pretty sure they would be the same, just because they want to keep everyone else safe.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Tell us about your opponent now. It's Noe Lopez. I know he's 10-3. I think he's 10-3.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about him and what you know about him.
It's definitely a step-up fight. He's obviously he's 10-3. He's a winner. He knows how to win. He's a nice boxer. He could box a little bit. Just got to go in there and do what I do, and just do my job. If I do what I'm supposed to do, it should be a quick night. I believe I could get him out of there, but he's definitely a tough guy. He's fought good opposition. It's going to be a good fight. For my first 8-rounder, it's a great step up.
Yeah, I think so too. I tell you what, it's your first time on Fox, your first time on national Fox. Is this and you'll be on the card. You're one of the top 3 events, correct? You're on there.
Yeah, I'm the opener on Fox. So yeah.
So it's
I'm on Fox. It's
a lot of pressure, man. A lot of pressure. No.
No. If anything, that just makes a diamond. Pressure makes diamond. So
there you go.
It. Yeah.
How's the training camp been different since you're preparing for an 8-rounder? Is there more sparring that you've been going through this camp? Any major changes in preparation?
Not really. Just basically, it's 2 more rounds. I mean, I'm always prepared to go 12, just because that's what kind of shape I'm always in, and the training's like the same, I guess. Just like you said, just more rounds in sparring. If I'm doing a 6-rounder, I'm not gonna spar 12 rounds. It's just that's a lot of beat up on your body. So really just the change in rounds for sparring. I'm still doing my 50 rounds on the floor and stuff. So the training is fairly mostly the same, but just the only thing different is the sparring.
Well, speaking of the sparring, because of the COVID protocol, it's been hard getting guys in to spar because of the travel restrictions and stuff like that, or you're not really having any problems?
We really haven't had any problems getting the right guys to fit the style of my opponent. For the most part, it's been smooth with the sparring, with people showing up and being there for the during this time, obviously the COVID-19.
So let me ask you this, because a lot of waiters, and when they get, I heard this excuse just a couple of days ago. Somebody came in off weight, and he said, well, I'm in the bubble, and there's nothing I can do there. I can't drop weight. I can't, and I struggle with the weight and everything like that. Is that a valid thing? Is that a valid thing where you can't, because they say, well, you can't leave the bubble, you can't do this. Is that a valid thing? I mean, where you can't, if you had weight to drop, that you can't drop it in that bubble?
I mean, I'm not going to speak for other fighters, but for me, I don't believe so. They give you your time to make weight, at least in the PBC bubble. Thanks to Al Heyman, he gives us the right equipment, the right things we need in there to make weight and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not going to speak for other fighters, but regardless of where I'm at, I'm going to make weight like a true professional would, and that's it. Just do my job.
Let me ask you this question, because I think this may be a problem for a lot of fighters. Obviously, the last week is the wind down week. You're not doing as intense training, right?
Absolutely.
So the diet would have to change a little bit the last week. I think you'd probably try to peel down the calories a little bit as well.
Yep.
I'm guessing maybe these guys they're at the hotel, they got the room service. It's pretty easy to order a pizza, at room service. I think that's when the diet, in my opinion, possibly goes wrong that last week, because like I said, you're at the hotel.
Yeah.
The training's winding down.
All that. Yeah, exactly.
The activities, has dropped off. Boredom kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
You may be on, laying on the bed watching Netflix.
Yeah.
Who watches Netflix with a bowl of popcorn next to him? Oh, who can eat popcorn without a nice 2-liter bottle of soda next to him?
Yeah. All those, Joe, man.
All those little things. Well, Beeb doesn't do that. I mean, you know how.
Of course, Beebs. Yeah, he's.
That's not. But I'm saying a normal human being with vices would do that. Does that ever happen to you though? Fight week, you say to yourself, maybe I want to cheat a little bit. You have to be even more disciplined the last week at camp. Would you agree with that? Possibly.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, that just goes back to being disciplined and just a professional. Like, just got to do your job. You're there for a reason. And it's fight week. You're supposed to be locked in. And for me, I don't go ever. I'm not one to get off task and off. Like I said, I take everything serious. So coming in on weight is one of those serious requirements to me, and as it should be to everyone else. And I'm always gonna come in on weight. So if it means me eating the right food and staying healthy throughout the bubble protocols, then that's what I'm gonna do.
B brings up an interesting point. What do you do to combat the boredom of fight week? Because like you said, your training's kind of over. I mean, you're going to work out and everything. I get that. But he's right. I mean, you are kind of stuck in this bubble now. What exactly do you do to kind of get that boredom, get rid of the boredom and everything like that?
For me, I really just shadow box in the room. I watch some Netflix, maybe play some Xbox, go on my phone, social media, and the time flies. I mean, I'm always just up in the room, just shadow boxing, putting on my uniform, just looking at my uniform in the mirror and stuff like that. So for me, I'm just having fun doing what I do usually on the regular in training camp anyway.
Let me ask you another question, because discipline is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Last week,
I know where this is going.
Last week of the fight, any honey dips the last week of the fight? Any honey dips? No honey dips, right? Okay.
What's the matter with you? You always got to take it there. You always take it in the gutter. I don't understand this.
It's the testosterone. It hasn't dropped off yet. even at
Yeah,
51.
you need to get off those testosterone pills that you need to do.
No. All natural, maybe. Keep the protein up. You know how it is.
Yeah, right. So, how do you see this fight going?
Obviously we're prepared to go the full 8 rounds. The guy, my opponent, he's a tough guy. I believe he's only been stopped once, I believe. So just go in there, like I said, just go in there and be myself, and whatever. If it's a unanimous decision or if it's a knockout, just gonna go in there and get the victory.
What does your gut tell you?
My gut tells me that that night a star is gonna be born on Channel 5 Fox, and well, that's East Coast 5 Fox, but on Fox National Television.
Wow. So you're gonna knock him out. What round are you gonna take him out in?
Like I said, I don't really know what round or how it's gonna happen, but my hands being raised that night, that's what I can say.
What do you bet? Eric, what are you betting? The prop bet here? You taking the KO proposition
Listen,
here? What's going on here?
I got 500 on you. All right? I got 5 bills on you. I need to know over under 4. Is it going the distance? You taking him out? I need to make some money, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What time in the round you're gonna knock him out at? You know? What punch? What punch you gonna finish him off with?
Babe, you're a degenerate gambler anyway, so what do you care? You're going to win and lose that night anyway.
Are you going to finish him on his feet? Is he going to finish on his feet and it's going to be a TKO, or is he going to be knocked out cold for the 10? Jesus Christ.
It's going to be a Berchelt knockout. That's what it's going to be. That was crazy, man. Crazy.
He's got enough to worry about. You're throwing all these prop bet propositions at him.
I gotta make money too. I gotta make money. What do you think? He's the only one making money around here? I gotta make mine too.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, what's the matter with you?
You get yours.
Speaking of money, okay. So let me ask you this. This question here. So does your pay go up when you're on like a national show like that, like on Fox? Does your pay increase like that?
It all depends, I guess, with who you're with. Or all I know is, well, for me, without Heyman, I'm being taken care of. So, I don't know really about anyone else, like how that works with them.
Right.
But who knows? I mean, all that's been established, so that's already done with. But now we're just worried about the fight.
He said he's buying a Tesla after the fight, B.
Yeah.
He said he's buying a Tesla convertible after the fight, son.
Well, let me ask you this: has your life changed at all? Because you've progressed. You're starting to climb up the ladder. You're on TV more and more. Do you notice your quality of life has changed, or are you just locked in and you don't even think about stuff like that at this point?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not really about all the money and the fame and stuff. For me, it's just the goals that I've had since I was a kid. Just for me, it's always just those world titles. I just want to have a legacy in the sport. I'm always locked in training, whether after my fight taking a few days off to let my body recover, but I'm always anxious to get back in the gym and get better. Just because ever since I'm a kid, it's just that's your first love for the game. You want to win. So if you lose that and you start thinking about the money and all like the glamour, the fame, you'll stop losing sight of where you actually want to go. And for me, I have a goal, and that's to be a world champ in multi-weight classes or multi-time world champ in the same division, and that's what my main focus is.
How close are you to realizing that?
Now,
I know you're 7-0 right now, but
in terms of weight. So the question was,
how close are you? You know, you said you want a world title. How close are you realistically with that? Would you know?
Yeah, for me, I'm still 18, still growing, still learning, and we're still gonna just take our time. Obviously, an 18-year-old going on Fox in an 8-rounder, that's not normal. But I mean, just like I said, just take our time, and then throughout the years, our time's gonna come, and once we get to that time, we're gonna be ready for it.
See, we gotta keep tabs on this guy, B, because once he gets to be a big star, we gotta make sure he comes back on here. We gotta make sure he comes back because usually when you get big stars, they don't never come back.
Absolutely,
so
we'll be back.
That's how we do it.
The twins told us they may come back. They didn't give us a definitive yes.
The twins. That's
the
right.
twins said they may came back.
They know
the Barrientos twins.
Oh, the Barrientos twins.
Okay. Yeah, they said they may come back once
they might come back.
We'll
but Beeb was being Beeb in the interview, and he asked him some, absurd questions, as you can only imagine. As you can only imagine, they're twins. You know where he's going with this, so you know. Yeah, that's right. That was a great question. It was not a great question.
Want me to tell him about the question, or should I just leave that one alone?
Go ahead. Tell him. We're dying to tell him the question. We're dying to relive this history. Yeah.
Tell me if this is a bad question. This is one question because they're twins, right?
Yeah.
I asked them, did they ever switch up like with a girl and just pretend that one of them
the girl get mixed up? Basically.
Yeah. So did they ever like say one of them had a date and he didn't feel like going on the date? Would he ever just tell the other twin, "Hey, you fill in for me because they're looking
can you take this spot for me because I need to do something
Exactly. It's not a bad question, is it?
Did you ever tag team a girl? That's a great question, B.
Never said that.
Great question.
I never said that.
Great question. What's the matter with you? He's here to talk about boxing. The guy's on Ray Flores. He does nothing but he talks boxing over there. The Ray Flores totally professional, and then he comes here.
Sometimes
and then he's got to deal with this mess.
Got to get off topic a little bit. You know what I mean?
He knows how it is. You got to lighten up the interview. You got to lighten up the interview. You got to lighten up the interview a little bit. You don't want to have those politically correct, those standard status quo interviews. You know what I mean?
Professional, man. You got to keep it professional.
That's right.
All right, Vito Malnecki, we're going to let you go, man, but catch him on Fox next weekend on the 27th. He's the opening card. So I believe that card starts at 8 or 9, but he's going to be the opening bout.
8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
There you go. 8 o'clock in the West, 8 o'clock in the East, 5 in the West.
Yep.
The first one on there, and he's going to set the stage for everybody else, man. I know it. He's going to knock him out. I'm betting on him. And so you better not let me down. It's $500 you're going to owe me if you don't knock this guy out. All right.
Kevin in the chat. I'm sorry, Eric. Kevin in the chat wants me to ask you a question about your Polish heritage.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that mean to you? As a Polish fighter, is that something that you take pride in? Obviously, you take pride in your heritage, but is that something that you think about in the ring? Like, I want to, be a Polish star, or you you consider yourself just an American, or how much does your Polish
absolutely
play into your your fighting style and all that?
Absolutely, I'm a Polish and Italian, and that obviously takes. I want to always bring that fan base from my Polish and Italian heritage into the ring, and obviously want to put on for Poland and Italy. So that's definitely a thing. Something that I take pride in every time I step in the ring.
Okay. All right, Kevin, we asked your question. Kevin's
I know. Quit crying in the chat, Kevin. He also said that Polish, tell Vito Polish fans in Chicago support him. So there you go.
Thank you.
So now you can stop crying, Kevin. How about that?
Kevin's from Chicago.
Shout out to Kevin.
All right.
that probably made his day right there. That probably made his day.
Made his day.
All right, Vito, man. Good luck this Saturday, man. And we're gonna catch you soon. And hopefully, we want to have you back on here soon, man. So
for sure, absolutely.
All right, man.
All right,
we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for coming on.
It.
All
Good
right,
luck,
man.
Thank you for coming.
Great interview, man.
He's a good puncher, this kid too. That's the thing. He's
like
very heavy. He's very heavy-handed.
He really is. And you know what? It's funny. Like I said, and I said this last time, like when you look at this guy, he doesn't look like he looks just like somebody's college professor. You know what I mean? Or like he's going to go to college. I mean, not a professor because he's not even old enough,
You know what he looks like? He looks like maybe like a bank teller or something. Guy that you go to cash your check on Friday. I have direct deposit. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, I have direct deposit. Who goes and cashes a check on Friday?
Maybe Ringside Robbie. You know how it is. You know how antiquated his ways are.
Now, speaking of Ringside Robert, yeah, let me tell you this. Let me tell you the story. So I'm watching the Showtime feed yesterday. All right. And I saved the ESPN feed. You know, I'm taping that. I'm DVD or DVR on that. All right. Next thing I know, I get a message from Robert. Wow, such and such Flores just got knocked him out cold and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not even watching that fight. And I said, don't tell me anything. I'm not watching. Then he texted me back again. He was like, oh, it's a great fight. All I'm saying is he was knocked out, and you're gonna love the ESPN card. That's like an unwritten rule. When you say you're not watching that fight, you don't say anything else. Nothing. That's it. You don't ruin the fight, man.
Chakal from friggin' Facebook does that to me all the freaking time, bro.
Oh, stop it.
All the time. And he drives me up a wall. This is, back in the day, they never used to have these cross promotions.
No.
This never used to happen.
You never had two fights on the same night. Never.
No, you never have two networks doing this. You know what I mean?
No, never.
It was crazy last night because you can't watch them all.
And they were all good fights. I mean, they were all fights you wanted to see.
And then you end up falling asleep, and then you watch them the next day, but you're going to find out who won anyway, so it's sucks. There's no element of surprise. That's the bad thing about it's good to have all this boxing on. I'm not complaining about that. It's just that the time. You know what I love? I love having those DAZN cards during the day, and then you have the card at night.
That's why I like the cards from England and stuff like that, right? Like you said, they come out at 5, and then when you're done, then you can watch the other ones. I like it when you can just watch it round the clock.
I like it like that as well. Yeah, it's much better.
You know what I really like? I like when they have fights from Japan, like on ESPN, like when Inoue fought. It's one of those days, babe. But when Inoue fought, it was like a Thursday or something like that. It was like a Thursday morning at 7:00, and you're over there watching the fight. It's like, oh, this is awesome. It's great. I love those. All right, guys, let's talk about ESPN. Miguel Berchelt versus Oscar Valdez for the WBC super featherweight title. As of right now, let me tell you this. If you're looking to bet on fights, you need to get with Chakal. This guy hit a 4-fight parlay yesterday and won over $1,000 last night. One of his picks, Valdez. G Funky also picked Valdez, and he's been picking him for a while now. And he's been saying it all week. He's been really on Twitter and everything like that. He's saying it all week.
He's been on a roll with these underdogs, man. He picked McCaskill over what's her name there, Breakus, and then he picked Tiafimo like I did.
Who did G Funky?
Yeah, and now he's got this. Now he's got this one. I got to ask him if he picked what's his name, Avenissian. I picked Avenissian.
Yeah, you picked the Avenissian fight.
Yeah, that was only a 2. He was only like a 2-1 underdog though, Avenissian.
Really?
Yeah, he was like some places he was only like he was only like a +150. That fight was close in the odds.
Wow, I would have thought Kelly would have been way favored in that one.
Kelly's looked shaky a lot.
I tell you what, man, coming into the fight, Valdez was as much as a 4-1 underdog in some places. Berchelt was a huge favorite. I did hear that they said on Showtime that a lot of late money came on to Valdez, but Julio Cesar Chavez picked him to win. Senior picked him to win, and the president of Mexico called Berchelt before the fight to wish him luck. Not to mention on fight night, Berchelt who weighed 130 pounds, weighed in at 146 on fight night. And let me tell you what, he looked like a full-fledged welterweight in there. That size difference was real apparent in there. It really was. Oscar Valdez knocked out Miguel Berchelt in the 10th round with one of the most vicious left hands you'll ever see. Definitely the knockout of the year so far, and I'll be honest, this was going to be tough to beat. Valdez started very fast using his jab, his movement, but he wasn't running. He landed some big shots in the opening round, but it was in the 4th, a left hook to the head that had been landing all night, man, for him. That was kind of his bread and butter right there, is that left hook that he just kept hitting him with it like at will, Berchelt wobbled. He went down. You could argue. Actually, you know what? Did he go down? It was a standing 8, wasn't it?
No, he went to the ropes, and the referee ruled that the ropes held him up.
Right, it was not a standing 8, but it was the ropes kept him up.
Yes.
and you could argue, you really could argue that fight could have been stopped in the fourth.
Yeah.
You could argue that. But in the middle rounds, I tell you what, Berchelt came back and he started using his pressure, and that's what he's known for, and he's landing big shots. Valdez's face was really getting marked up in there. But the one thing I did like about Berchelt was he was cutting the ring off from Valdez. And he was actually really effective. And I think in like round 7, 8, and 9, or 6, 7, and 8, I think I had him ahead there. I had him giving Berchelt those rounds. But in the 9th round, man, Valdez turned the tide again. Valdez put Berchelt down. And in the 10th round, that's when he landed at the end of the 10th round, landed that monster overhand left that just dropped him face first. It reminded me of the Pacquiao-Marquez fight. That shot that he landed in, that shot that Marquez landed on him. And you just knew as soon as he hit him with that shot, he wasn't getting up. He was out before he hit the floor. He was out as soon as he got hit with that shot. He wasn't seeing those shots coming. There was a couple of times where he got hit flush and he was able to take them because he saw him. But I tell you what, man, he was getting hit flush in there, man. Eddie Reynoso was cornering Valdez. And if he's not the best trainer in boxing right now, I don't know who is, man.
Yeah, he's hot right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is, man. Because I tell you, that was more, that fight right there was more, they had him scouted. And it's just one of those things, man. After the fight, Valdez, they asked him about Shakur Stevenson. And he says, he wanted to take a break. Take a rest for a little bit, but he said if Shakur Stevenson wanted to fight, he'll fight. I don't know, honestly, if that fight happens next, but we'll see what happens. He says Annalise Jarmio in the chat says that the LBDC channels are saying Shakur destroys Valdez. Maybe not. I don't know, man. That's a good fight. Valdez is really fast. He's really strong. He can box. Shakur can really box. I think Shakur's the better boxer. I don't know that he's faster than Valdez, man. Valdez looked really good last night. And I know that Valdez can put Shakur away. I don't know the same thing about Shakur. I don't know that Shakur can take out Valdez, Beeb, what was your thoughts on this fight?
It's so funny that you brought up the Marquez Pacquiao fight, because I was thinking of that as well, but in a different regard. You know how when Marquez used to fight Pacquiao, he would always just look like so much better when he fought Pacquiao than when he fought his other opponents, because it was like he just knew Pacquiao's style, because he fought him so many times. He just had Pacquiao's style down. And Valdez had said, I waited a year for this fight, and I'm thinking he was probably training and studying this guy. Like you said, had him scouted, and he just seemed to know every move Berchelt was going to make, and he was right there to counteract it before Berchelt could even finish the move. Like the left hook, he every time Berchelt threw that right hand, and he was pulling it back to reset, that hook just came every time. Like he knew all of Berchelt's moves. It was like it was embedded in his brain. Everything was downloaded in his brain like a computer. So I just think like just how Marquez had Pacquiao's number, I think Valdez just had Berchelt's number, because he was able to counter over the top of that right hand all night. He was able to move and step around Berchelt and get out of the line of fire. It was like he knew everything about this guy. Like he studied this. He must have ate drinks and slept this guy for that whole year that he was waiting to fight him, because he knew this guy to the letter. Sort of like how Marquez knew Pacquiao to the letter. Every time Pacquiao would come forward, Marquez would slide back, walk him into that right hand. He could not miss him with that left hook last night at all. So it was like Berchelt, and then Berchelt was looking at Valdez, saying to himself, this isn't the same guy that I've seen in other fights who showed vulnerability, who struggled with certain guys. This isn't the same Valdez that fought Scott Quigg and had that broken jaw and had to struggle through that fight. This isn't that same flawed guy. And that was kind of a shock, I would imagine, to Berchelt, because he's probably saying to himself, "Who's this guy that I'm fighting right now? It's not the same guy that I've been watching for the over the years." So he probably thought that he could just walk this kid down, but Valdez was just one step ahead of him all night. He was countering him all night. Every time he would move, Berchelt just couldn't track him down. Couldn't corner him. Kid would not stand still he would not stay still in one place. And he forced Berchelt to actually, and Berchelt was starting to get frustrated, and then he started lunging. And he was getting anxious, because he's saying to himself, this guy knows everything I'm doing. Maybe I got to speed things up a little bit so I can get ahead of him, because this guy's one step ahead of me. So then he gets anxious. He starts rushing in. He starts lunging. He starts getting a little overzealous. And then that makes it even worse for himself, because then he's getting countered even worse, because he's not in position to punch. He's getting sloppy. And as the fight wore on, Valdez was just getting better and better. So, that's what that reminded me of in that regard, where this guy just knew everything he was going to do. Sort of like how, like I said, I hate to keep repeating myself, but like Marquez just had Pacquiao down at that style, so.
And you remember like the one fight, Pacquiao and Hatton. You remember the Pacquiao-Hatton fight? Yes. Where it was so one-sided, and that Hatton really couldn't do anything. He couldn't get started. He couldn't do anything against that guy. No. And it only went 2 rounds, and he was because he was getting hit flush. I remember watching that fight and saying, man, they scouted him. They saw something in the tape. They saw something when they scouted him that said, that's what we're going to work on. That's what we're going to take advantage of. And I feel like that's the same thing here. They saw something in that tape that they said, hey, we got it. We know our fighter can do this, and this is what he's going to do. And that paid dividends for him. I mean, it really did. I mean, and shout out to his corner and everybody else who was involved in that game plan. And obviously Valdez, you have to carry it out, so he deserves most of the credit. But, I mean, I didn't expect it. I'll tell you that. I did not expect that. That is not the same Valdez I've seen in the past.
No.
That was a completely different guy.
No.
So, as far as the fight between him and Stevenson, how that plays out, that I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Well, I was talking to Robbie on the phone today, and he brought up a great point. He said Shakur Stevenson has never fought a guy that can punch as hard as Valdez.
No.
And then he legitimized himself and validated himself as a puncher last night. That was that left hook was one of the best left hooks I've ever seen. That was a one punch, like you said, knockout. Shakur who gets up from that? Who gets up from that?
Nobody gets up from that. Not only that, I think what was more impressive, you noticed the size difference in that fight. That guy was 100. That was a welterweight. He was a full-fledged welterweight in there last night, and he murked him. I mean, he just murked him, man.
If you and Robbie and I both said this, if you asked both of us who would win before this fight, we would have picked Shakur Stevenson if Shakur and Valdez would have fight.
Sure.
But now Robbie and I both say we would pick Valdez now.
Well, let me bring him on real quick. Let me bring on Robert.
Coco, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Coco. We appreciate it.
Appreciate that, brother.
See here. Coco the Don, baby. All right, Robert, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Eric. What's up, guys?
Good deal. All right, so what were your thoughts on the Berchelt fight?
Definitely early candidate for fight of the year, and Oscar Valdez has definitely put himself in a very good position. If I was betting on that fight last night, I would have lost every dime I had. I would have picked Miguel Berchelt with no problem. I didn't think Valdez would do what he did.
Sort of like how you got crushed in the Super Bowl because you thought Brady was gonna tank.
Well,
I gotta take a shot at you for that. I gotta take a shot at you for that. I gotta take a shot
with you, dude.
Because my team is in the AFC. I'll never be a Tom Brady fan. I mean, come on.
Come on, stop hating, Robbie. Give credit where credit is due, for Christ's
So
sake.
he's drinking a haterade, Beeb.
But no, guys, that was one hell of a fight last night. And you know what? I don't think Stevens can handle what Valdez has to give him if that fight takes place. If I had to pick it right now, I think Oscar wins that fight.
Yep.
That's a tough fight, man. That's a tough fight. But I don't think that fight happens next. I don't know if you're Shakur's handlers. Do you take that fight?
Well, it depends on what else is out there for him.
Well, here's the thing. Andre Wood's not managing him anymore. So Andre Wood, I have no idea. They just parted ways. And
yeah, he's now with the young kid from Stockton that was on the ESPN show last night. That's who Andre Ward is now managing. The guy that opened the card last night on the TV portion for ESPN, that's who Ward is managing now.
Flores?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
wonder what happened with I wonder what happened with those two.
Yeah.
With Shakur.
All he's ever said publicly is him and his team had a falling out, and he moved on to a brighter prospect.
Wow, that's rough, man.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen, though, because I don't think Wood was probably too happy with Shakur, the way he was acting and some of the stuff, the outside of the ring behavior and the social media stuff.
You mean the pictures of that chick and everything like that? He wasn't happy about that?
Not only that, like him the whole thing with the beating up, the beating up that civilian and all that crazy shit that he was doing outside of the ring.
I mean, that's not a big deal. That happens all the time. That's like a Tuesday night here in Ohio.
I don't like it. I don't condone that violence.
You don't condone
no,
that.
and I don't think Andre Ward did either. I think you're absolutely right, dude.
Thank you, Robbie.
So who's that super lightweight here? I'm looking at it here. Oscar Valdez, now the champ. Gervonta Davis, Joey Diaz Jr., Jamel Herring. Man, he's got a Joey Diaz isn't even the champ anymore.
Jojo Diaz, no, he lost his.
No, well, no,
lost it on the scale.
Jojo Diaz lost. He lost.
Oh, so Rakimov is the champion, right?
Right.
No, Jojo Diaz lost.
It was a draw, wasn't it?
No, it was a draw that fight.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It was a draw. That's right.
Right.
That's right. If I'm Valdez and I can't get Stevenson in the ring next, I take Jojo Diaz.
Jojo Diaz is not the champion.
No, but wait a minute. Wasn't that a title? Oh, that's right. That title's vacant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's vacant.
So maybe fight for that. They're gonna have two IBF guys fight for that. He's not gonna be able to fight for that. I wouldn't think. Maybe, but I don't know.
All right.
What about Jamel Herring? Jamel Herring's over there. Who's he fighting next? He's fighting Frampton next.
Frampton.
That fight comes off,
Yeah, and yeah. It's that right now in boxing, it's kind of up in the air which fights are going to happen and which ones aren't. Because seems like each network has their own bubble.
And that's a packed division right there, man.
Bob's got a lock on 130, huh?
Yep.
He really does.
Wow.
Gervonta Davis is the only one. I mean, you got Davis there, so I don't know, but
well, do you think Davis is moving up to 135?
I don't know.
Who knows what he's doing, bro?
Who knows what they're all him and Ryan Garcia. They're always talking about fighting each other, but it never happens. They've been talking about that for a while now.
Can't figure them. You can't figure those guys out over there.
No.
If you're Ryan Garcia, the easiest fight to make would be him and the other guy on his own, Devin Haney.
Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, that's the easiest fight to make. Neither one of them won it, though. So that's another one. It's like, come on.
Everybody wants Lopez, but Lopez's fight is now going to purse bid.
Yeah, well, that's smart because what is it, 80-20 on purse bids?
I think it's 70-30.
Well, it used to be 75-25, but I don't know what it is now.
I think it's probably still the same 75-35 or 75-25 or Yeah, 70-30, something like that.
I thought it was 70-30, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Why would you, if you're Lopez, why would you not go to purse bid at that point?
No.
Fighting that
Right.
Yeah, fighting that Australian dude, I mean, Cambosos or whatever.
Right.
He's that, because he's not going to take, he's going to want more money than what they're giving him. So if it goes to purse bid, that's a smart move.
And of course, in Australia now, they are allowing fans for certain events. So maybe the fight will take place there.
No, I heard it wasn't going to take place in Australia. I heard they wanted it to take place in Australia, but more likely it's going to take place, I believe, in Vegas or something like that. Bob said that they're not going to have any more fights in the bubble. Was that what I understood last night?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I've heard rumors to that effect.
Yeah. So yeah, man. What are you going to do? Yeah.
And switching gears to Showtime for a minute, what do you think Robert Easter's going to do at 140? He looked very good last night.
Well, we're going to talk about the Easter fight in a little bit, but I don't know what he's going to do. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure what he's going to do there.
Definitely got the frame for 140.
Yeah, he does. And he looked good, but it was kind of lackluster. It wasn't, I don't know. But Ryan Martin's a good fighter, though, too. It's not like he's just a runner.
Yeah, man. Well, and he made Martin look like an amateur because I scored that, very wide for Easter.
Right. All right, Robert, we're going to jump off here, man. We're going to get moving here. When do you do? You do yours on Monday, right? You do your podcast on Monday?
No, Tuesday.
Tuesdays.
We're on from 6 to 8 every Tuesday your time. So
and Legend, what is it? Legend
Oldies.
You
can find it at legendoldies.com, and and if you tune in live and you want to call in, we give the Zoom number, and everybody can call in, and you can also email in and stuff like that.
Oh, all right. Good deal, Robert. We're gonna get running, man. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
All right. See you later.
There you go. They give out the Zoom number and everything, Beeb. See, they're hooked up over there. We're the little guys. What are we going to do? Beeb? What are we going to do? All right. So let's talk about here Gabriel Flores versus Jason Velez. Flores scores a 6-round KO over Velez. It was all Flores from start to finish. Beeb, I don't know. It was kind of a one-sided fight. It's kind of what we expected, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what we expected.
Poor Velez.
What's the matter with you?
Saying poor Velez. He's always on the wrong end of those types of fights.
Always on the wrong end of the shots. What are you saying?
You know what I mean? Poor kid.
Esquiva Falco versus Artur Akavov. Falco beats Akavov in the 4th when Akavov couldn't come out for the bell due to a broken nose. And Xander Zayas, who's only 18 and is now 7-0 with 5 knockouts, wins a 6-round unanimous decision over James Martin, 60-54 on all cards. It was kind of a whitewash there. All right. So now our train wreck of the week king, Beeb. Adrien Broner, AB about billions. He's back, son. Ohio's back. Stand up, Ohio, baby. Cincinnati's in the house. Beeb, give it to me. He looked spectacular last night. He looked spectacular, Beeb. I had the fight scored 119 to 109. All right. That's how I had it going last night. He couldn't lay a glove on my man Broner. Let me tell you what, Broner, to me, Broner is the next Willie Pep. He's the current Willie Pep. He didn't even throw a punch. He didn't even land a punch in that first round. Didn't even land a punch in the first round. Go check the punch stats. He won the round on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards. Beeb, come on, man.
I picked Broner to lose that fight. And if it was scored correctly, I would have been right. Because I just didn't think Broner won that fight.
How dare you?
I had it 114 and 113. My card was a little bit different than Farhood's. He gave Broner the 2nd round. I gave Broner the 1st round.
That's why Broner doesn't mess with Farhood. He said it after the fight. He don't mess with Farhood. Doesn't mess with him. Doesn't mess with him at all.
Broner being Broner. But I just thought he lost the fight. Broner, to me, right now, looks very uninspired in the ring. He looks like he's fighting strictly for the money. Not every fighter fights for the money, but he has no choice but to fight for the money because what else is he going to do? He's at the point now where he's just trying to put food on the table and support his family. I don't think he's got anything put away. I don't think his heart's in it anymore. He looks very uninspired in there. And again, they had Kevin Cunningham in there. They got rid of him. Now they got Mike Stafford back at the leading the helm. And no disrespect to Mike Stafford, but he's just a yes man.
How dare you?
Broner asks him, I got that round, right? He goes, oh, you got them all. No, you really don't. No, you really don't. And even if you do, you don't tell him that because then he gets complacent. He's just a yes man. I just think that it's a bad relationship that they have because he enables Broner. Broner needs a guy like Kevin Cunningham who's more of a disciplinarian, a guy who's going to yell at you when you need to be yelled at, a guy who's going to tell you what's up. Mike Stafford's just like, oh, everything's okay, everything's all right. Like Broner was getting smacked around by Maidana, and Stafford's telling him, oh, it's okay, it's all right, everything's all right, everything's all right. You got this. Like, no, you don't got this. And I think Stafford, again, is part of the problem. I think Santiago was really outworking Broner. I thought his jab was on point. I thought his body work was great. Even though he wasn't hurting Broner, he was scoring points. He was the ring general. He was controlling the fight. He was fighting the fight at a fast pace. And because of him fighting the fight at that pace, Broner was uncomfortable. Broner doesn't like fighting guys like Santiago, guys who bring a lot of pressure and volume. And Santiago, he kept throwing that jab right down the middle, kept throwing it. And he didn't stop throwing it. And that Broner was trying to counter, but he couldn't time the jab. Jab just kept coming at him. Kid didn't stop. The kid was faster than I thought. I saw a little bit of him, but he's a pretty quick kid. Pretty quick.
I didn't think he was that fast. I thought he was more.
I thought he was more of a plotter,
mechanical, more of a plotter, more mechanical.
More of a plotter, but he looked quick last night. I'll tell you that.
Good. He showed up. He
looked sharp and quick.
Yeah.
And Broner just looked like he was going through the motions. And people go, oh, the layoff, this and that. But again,
stop it.
You're not supposed to struggle with that kid.
No
disrespect to Santiago. And here's another thing too. I'm so sick of the A side just showing up and automatically winning just because he's the A side. He didn't win that fight. And then friggin' Arthur Mercanti Jr. takes the point away. He waits a full minute to take the point away. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the commission said something to him. I don't know. But you wait a whole minute to take a point away. And then he's only retaliating because Broner threw a punch at him after the bell. I know Broner's didn't land and his did. And I know the guy that it's like anything else in the NBA. Someone pushes the guy and the guy pushes him back. It's always the guy that pushes him back that gets the foul, not the guy that initiated the push. I get that, but you waited a whole minute to decide whether or not you're going to take a point away. It was just so stupid. It was just dumb.
When I saw that, they both hit after the bell. Warn them both and send them both back. Why he took a point away at that point, I have no idea. And I thought the commission took the point away, but I don't know.
No, the referee is the one that takes the point away. The commission can only talk to the referee. And even at that, it's still the referee's decision. They can only advise him on what to do. They can't make him do something.
I thought Mercanti did a lousy job last night. He would not let him fight inside. He was warning Santiago, really wasn't paying attention to Broner. Broner, did you see him pulling down Broner's shorts? Like when they got out of, what was that about? I mean, what are you doing, dude? That's his corners thing. What are you doing?
If you could take Arthur Mercanti, Jack Reese, and Lawrence Cole and just put them on a boat and send them far away someplace, far away from a boxing ring and never let them ref again. You know what the most disgusting thing Arthur Mercanti did? you remember that Cotto, the Cotto Yuri Foreman fight? I don't know if you remember that fight. Cotto was fighting Yuri Foreman.
Mm-hmm.
Yuri Foreman was the 154-pound champion.
Yeah.
Yuri Foreman had a bad knee. He blew he had a bad knee, and he blew it out during the fight. So he's basically limping, and he's trying to fight on that knee, but he's actually like falling down because he can't even stand. And Cotto's just beating him up. He's fighting a one-legged guy. He's fighting a wounded animal there. It's like a cat playing with the mouse, just playing with an injured mouse. So the corner throws the towel in. You know what McCanty does? Takes the towel and throws it out and says, "No, I'm stopping this fight, not you. This kid's got a lot of heart. Let him go out on his shield, whatever." And he allowed that fight to go on. And Cotto's just beating up. Foreman couldn't even stand up. He would try to stand up, and then he would fall down. And then during the fight, he's like, "Come on." He's like cheering on Foreman. Because he's so impressed how Foreman kept trying to fight with that one leg. But he couldn't stand. His ACL was blown. He couldn't stand on the leg. He kept falling down. Yeah. And the referee threw the towel in, and he throws it out, and he won't stop the fight. That's like the most cruel thing I've ever seen. You got to be heartless to allow that fight to go on. There's no way he wins that fight against Cotto. Hall of Fame fighter, Cotto. Well, he didn't get in, but he should, he's going to get in eventually. But a fighter like that, you allow him to sit there and beat on Yuri Foreman like that. That was disgusting. Right then and there, I knew this guy was trash as a referee.
Yeah, I mean, for weeks, let me tell you this. I had the fight scored 115-112 also. Scores of the fight were unanimous decision for Broner, 115-112, 116-111, and 117-110, all for Broner. I had the fight scored 115-112 for Santiago.
I had it 114 to
I had it
Santiago.
And I gave that fourth round a 9-9 round, which is something I never do. If it's a point taken away, I usually go with 10-8, no matter what I thought. But he was clearly winning that round. Broner's not throwing any shots, man. And, for weeks we've been hearing, Broner said all week that he's changed. He's a changed AB, blah, blah, blah. He was exactly the same Broner that we saw the last time. He couldn't make the 140-pound limit, so the fight had to be moved to welter. And he addressed it. He actually addressed this and said, well, once I got to the bubble, there was nothing I could do. We couldn't take off weight, blah, blah, blah. There was nothing to do. I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't see anybody, and it affected him, blah, blah. That's why I asked Vito that question. Vito, what did Vito say? Doesn't matter. I don't care where I am. I'm making weight. That's my priority. That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And you compare Broner's attitude and the way he went in there, compare it to Vito's next week when he walks in that ring. That's a hungry fighter. That's a hungry guy. That's a guy who wants to win. Broner is clearly there for a paycheck, man. I mean, it was pretty obvious, man. I don't understand. B, why don't you explain this to me? That first round, according to punch stats, he landed 0 punches in the first round. And he won the first round on 2 of the 3 judges' card. How does that happen? I mean, really, how in the world does that happen? If that doesn't let you know that kid wasn't going to win the fight, if Santiago was not going to win the fight, I don't know what does. Because that first round to me was super clear. Neither one of them did a lot, but Broner did next to nothing. Not to mention at the end of it, and again, punch stats aren't the end-all be-all. I don't know that Broner outlanded him in any round.
He didn't.
Again, punch stat, not the end-all be-all. He landed the harder shots. I gave Broner a string of rounds, 8, 9, 10, maybe. I think 8, 9, 10, 11, something like that. I gave him the string of rounds. But again, not the end-all be-all, but over 100 more punches. Broner didn't even land 100 punches in that fight last night, son.
I gave Broner the swing rounds. That's why my card was so close.
Yeah. You know what I didn't, and I'll tell you what, I didn't see the full punch stats as far as punches thrown. I'd have been real curious to see the punches thrown. Because Broner landed 98 shots, and I think the other guy landed 207. Santiago landed 207. And it was just are we really having this discussion? You thought he won. Where was this? What did I see? What did I miss here? And in that round, in that fourth round, man, and when he was penalized, for both fighters hit after the bell. Both fighters, and Broner, I don't, and Mike Stafford told Broner in the last round, and they both said, he said he's gonna come after you this round. And Broner says, yeah, he's desperate. Perfect. So what does he do? He just took the round off. This ain't, and clearly it didn't make a difference on the scorecards, whatever. But I mean, he just took the round off. I'm like, dude, this is not, this could be a very close fight. And for him to just take the round off, I don't get it. Santaigo Media says that Adrien Broner threw 338 shots in the fight. 338 shots. Let me post this up here. Santaigo Media, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. He says AB 98 of 338, 207 of 697. He doubled his connect rate and doubled his volume. And it's that wide? I don't know, B. There's something rotten in Denmark, all right? Because I'll tell you what, that fight was not that close.
Now, I did not listen to the post-fight interview. Did you?
Yes, I did. Unfortunately, yes, I did.
Did he really say fuck Steve Farhood?
Yes, he did. F Twitter, F Steve Farhood. He says he doesn't F with Steve Farhood because because Steve Farhood had him losing the fight. Steve Farhood had him losing the fight, so he doesn't mess with him.
Everybody
F Steve Farhood. Yeah, F Steve Farhood. That's great. Listen, I thought Santaigo won the fight, but it wasn't a robbery either. I don't think it was a robbery. I'm not willing to call fix or anything. I guess I kind of did in a sense, but I just think that a lot of advantages were given to AB in this fight.
I thought the scorecards were bad, but that's my opinion.
I thought they were. And I try not to criticize judges too much because like I said, man, I've been at ringside. And you're scoring a fight, and it's a little bit different when you only got one angle on it versus on TV. You got all these angles. I get it, but he was the house. Let's just say he was a house fighter last night, and he got all the benefits being the house fighter. Let's take this into consideration too, because I think he went life and death with this guy, and this guy only has 14 fights. Listen, we've seen this guy, B. We've seen a couple of his fights. Watched a couple of his fights and everything like that. I said he had a good left hook to the body. He showed that last night. I said he's very strong. Showed that last night. And neither one of us was expecting him to come out that fast. Or expecting him to be that fast.
He's not supposed to have faster hands than Adrien Broner. He's not.
No, of course not.
But he did.
And he was pushing the pace. And he was pushing the pace in the fight, I tell you, man, to me, I don't think that Broner raised his stock here by winning this fight. I don't think he looked good. And, I wonder where he goes from here. He's going to get a big fight, but he's not going to win it. He's going to get a big fight. That's just way.
There's nobody at 147 he beats. Nobody.
No. I'm looking at it right now. All right. Okay. So you got Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Don't make me laugh. He's not going to beat either one of those. He's not going to beat Ugas. He's not going to beat Virgil Ortiz. He's not beating Jamal James. He's not beating, he lost to Mikey Garcia. He's not beating, I don't know if maybe him and Keith Thurman.
He hasn't beat Keith Thurman.
I don't know if he does or not, but I mean, Keith Thurman's been off just as long.
I don't think he beats Keith Thurman.
He doesn't beat Danny Garcia. He doesn't beat David Avenissian. Who looked pretty good. I don't, who do you put him in against? I mean, really,
he cannot beat not one person in the top 10. And then he's going to go back down to 140. He's going to beat.
Can't make 140.
He's going to beat.
You cannot make 140, son.
He can't beat Jose Ramirez.
No. You can't beat Josh Taylor. He can't beat Mario Barrios. He can't beat Josh Taylor. Can't beat Ramirez. Like I said, man, what's his name? Regis Prograis is a name being tossed around too. He ain't beaten. Regis will kill that guy. Are you for real? They're calling each other out. That might be that fight might be made. Son, he cannot beat Prograis. It ain't going to happen.
Postal will beat him. Victor Postal will beat him.
And let me tell you another thing. Here, man. While he doesn't beat Prograis, he ain't making 140. He can't make 140. He can't.
No, there's no way.
No way.
And if he tries to, he'll be even worse at that weight.
Because he's going to be drained.
It's going to be drained.
So I don't know, man. I don't know where he goes from here. You know,
when you get older, it's so much harder to take the weight off, because once you gain weight and you gain those fat cells, they don't go away. They may shrink, but they don't go away. Once you add new fat cells to your body and you get older, especially, he's going to have problems making 140. I don't think he can. I don't think he can.
You know, look, and I mean, you saw him at the scales. He looked good. I mean, he looked good at the scales. I mean, he was cut, he was shredded and everything like that. That was at 147, 146 and a half or whatever it is he came in at.
Yeah, he's not 100.
How are you shrinking down 6 more pounds, son? There ain't no way. There ain't no way, son. It ain't going to happen. Let's talk about Otto Wallin versus Dominic Brazile. Wallin beats Brazile by unanimous decision. Scores were 116, 112, 117, 111, and 118, 110. You know, I'll tell you what, Wallin looked good in there, man. We've only seen his biggest fight, obviously, against Tyson Fury. He lost and was outboxed most of the rounds. You know, but he boxed really well here, man. Brazile really wanted to win this fight. I could tell, you know, I mean, you could see it. He was trying to go after him. He kept coming forward. You know, he wasn't going backwards. He kept coming forward. He wanted to win this fight. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but when I looked at him, man, it looked like his reflexes were gone. It looks like Brazile's reflexes were gone.
Well, here's the thing about Dominic Brazile. He was never a defensive specialist, always had very poor hand positioning. But here's the thing, too. When he throws punches, everyone drops their hands once in a while, right? This guy constantly drops his hands. Every time he throws a punch, he brings it back down by his waist. You know, he's just very, very defensively flawed. Doesn't have the greatest reflexes. He's not really a natural boxer. He's just an athlete that was able to box.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
He's not like a natural, like Fury is a natural boxer. He's a natural fighter. You know, certain guys, you look at him, that guy's just born to fight. This guy just took it up late in life. He just, you know, he's an athletic guy, whatever, but he was just never going to be that prototypical textbook type style boxer. He just doesn't have it in him. And I'm going to take a page out of Robbie's book. I'm going to use one of his lines. I think he needs to go and find something else to do, because
I think so.
When you're getting hit that flush, all I could just do was imagine him in there with someone who could punch. What if he was in there with Kwanaki?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He would have got hurt.
I think Konoski and Wallin, that's a good fight.
That's a good fight.
I think that's a very good fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But
who do you put Brazile in there with now that where he won't get hurt?
Nobody.
Because his face was smashed up against Wallin, and Wallin's not even a big puncher. And his eye was all jacked up.
I mean, who do you put him in against? I mean, realistically, what do you do? I can't put him in against anybody.
No, he's going to get hurt, bro.
Yeah. And I think his management ought to sit him down, man, because it looks to me like his reflexes were gone. You could see him go to throw, and the guy was already gone. You could see him go to throw certain shots, and he wasn't letting them go. Almost like he could see the openings, but he just couldn't pull that trigger.
He's got to know that it's maybe his time to hang him up. If anyone is close to him that loves him, they got to talk to him, man.
Because at this point, why stick around?
Yeah.
I mean, because who does he beat? Do you have any chance of beating any one of the champions? No, you don't. So why stick around, man?
He ain't even beating Gerald Washington, Mr. Easy Bucks. So take that one right out of it. He's not beating anyone.
No, I don't think so either.
Maybe Stavern. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah. Robert Easter versus Ryan Martin. Easter wins a unanimous decision over Ryan Martin, 117, 111, and 118, 110 twice. You know, Easter dominated this fight. He used his jab. He was able to control the distance throughout. It wasn't exciting, but it was definitely effective. Where do you see, I mean, Easter's now in play again. It wasn't the most exciting performance, but that's what you're going to get, I think, with Robert Easter.
That's his style.
It's a style, and it's a hard style to beat, for sure. where does he go from here? I mean, you know, do you think he's got a future? I would like I would like to see Prograis. Forget AB and Pro. I would like to see him and Prograis fight. Yeah. I think that's a good fight. Yeah.
He's got the frame for 140, and he's a good boxer.
And he's tall. He's a problem.
And
he's a problem, right?
He knows how to use his height, but also he could fight a little bit on the inside. He's not a great inside fighter, but he does know how to wrap guys up when they get inside on him.
Yeah.
He's a pretty strong kid for his, he's decently
well, as big as he is, he's gonna be strong.
He's got some decent strength to him,
sure,
for that weight class. So I think he's a smart fighter. I think he knows what he's good at and he knows what he's not so good at. And he knows how to work around all those things. I just think he's he's going to be a tough out for anybody. He may not beat everyone, but he's going to hold his own.
You're going to know you've been in there with him.
He's going to hold his own. And if you're off a little bit that one night, he can beat you.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing, B. And you hit it right on the head there. He may not beat everyone, but he's capable of beating anyone on any night. He's capable.
Yeah, I like Robert Easter. I
do too. I've always liked him.
He's got a great jab. He's got a good right hand.
Like I said, may not always be the most crowd pleasing, but it's okay.
He knows how to use his length. He's a good boxer from the outside, and when he has to, he can get down and dirty when he has to.
There you go. On DAZN, Josh Kelly versus David Avenissian. David Avenissian wins by TKO over Josh Kelly in the 6th round. Beeb, you called this.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not. I've never been a big fan of Josh Kelly. I mean, Josh Kelly, I've seen him struggle. I've seen him have some close calls. I just don't like his style. I think that he does a lot of excessive movement. I don't think he's really good at gauging range. I think he doesn't do well with guys who pressure him and fight aggressively. He's not really a good inside fighter. I'm just never been a fan of him. And I thought Avenissian's always been a solid fighter. He's a good inside fighter. He's a tough guy. He can punch, moves his head very well. He's good at throwing feints. I think he applies smart pressure. So
yeah,
that's just my opinion. I just think he's a good fighter.
Yeah,
and I just really never was high on Josh Kelly. I never was high on Josh Kelly. Yeah, I was never
coming out of the Olympics too. Olympian, man. Never
Yeah.
materialized. All right, let's go over the upcoming fights and then we'll get to the phones here. February 26th on DAZN from Milan, Italy. Daniel Scardarnia versus Cesar Nunez. Stop it. Come on, who's watching that card, Beeb?
I don't know, man.
Nobody's watching that stupid card. Come on. This is on DAZN, and we pay extra for DAZN. I'll keep saying it over and over again. This is what we're paying for with DAZN. That. Come on, stop it. I'm not watching any of that. It's all nonsense. Where do they get these guys? I've never heard of any of these guys. Never. Stop it. On ESPN Plus from Kazakhstan, this is, I wonder if this is like Triple G, and how Triple G's got that whole, that promotion or whatever he's doing now. Stephen Ward versus Kimshaibek Kunkabayev at 10 rounds cruiserweights. Evgeny Smirnov versus Natalis Azbenov. Another, I don't know. Listen, at least the Kazakhstani fighters are usually pretty exciting. I don't know. I'm still not going to watch it. I don't know. It's the kind of guy I am. I don't know. I don't have patience for that. Miami, Florida on DAZN on the 27th. Canelo Alvarez. This is the big one, Beeb. Canelo Alvarez versus Avni Yildirim. 12 rounds for Alvarez's WBC and WBA super middleweight titles. Julio Cesar Martinez versus McWilliams Arroyo. 12 rounds for Martinez's flyweight title. That's going to be a good fight. Zhao Zhang versus Jerry Forrest. 10 rounds heavyweights. Diego Pacheco versus Rodolfo Gonzalez Jr., 8 rounds super middleweights. This is slightly better than, listen, anytime Canelo Alvarez fights, it's must-see TV. I get you. This is not a pay-per-view caliber fight. Is it worth $20?
No.
I don't think it is either. I don't think the card is worth $20 either. I'll be honest with you.
No.
I'll watch it because I already got DAZN and I'm a degenerate, but it is what it is. If you're looking to buy DAZN, don't just wait till it comes out on YouTube. You'll see it in YouTube or whatever. I would just wait on it. I really would. It's not worth it. Canelo's going to wipe the floor with this guy.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
It's a complete mismatch.
Yeah, you saw.
Yildirim's a mandatory now.
Yeah, he's a mandatory. You saw Chris Eubank Jr. did to Yildirim. He knocked him out in 2 rounds. So what's Canelo?
What is Canelo going to do to him? I mean, come on, stop it. Stop, man.
It's
not even a killer undercard either. I said the Martinez and Royal fight's a good fight. I'm not going to go out of my way to, you know what I mean? Like if I'm not going to pay $20 because that's added on.
I mean, I don't think this is the guy that Canelo would have picked if he had a choice. So
no. Point is, if you don't have the zone, you don't need to get it for this fight. If you have the zone, then you got it. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and watch it. February 27th from Los Angeles. We talked about this earlier. Anthony, the Dog Durrell versus Kyron Davis, 12-round super middleweights. Vito Malnecki Jr. versus Noe Alejandro Lopez, 8 rounds welterweights. It's Vito's first 8-rounder. Step up in competition. I think Vito knocks him out, and I'm going to win 500. Jesus Alejandro Ramos versus Jesus Emilio Boraquez, 10 rounds welterweights. Let's see what else we got here. Also on the zone, February 27th from Auckland, New Zealand. Joseph Parker versus Junior Fa, 12 rounds heavyweights, and a bunch of people you've never ever heard of. Yeah, even that doesn't excite me. Doesn't do a thing for me, buddy. Sorry. I don't get it, Beeb. I don't know. And hey, if you disagree with me, you disagree with me. Go pay $20 and go watch it. I don't know what to tell you. All right. Let's go to let's see here. Who do we got? Uh-oh.
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
Georgie.
Hey, yo! What's happening, people?
Georgie, what's up?
Out here.
What's up there, brother?
Listen, going on, babe? We got to talk about AB, man.
That's your boy.
Eric, brother. There must be some type of honor in Ohio, brother. Somebody must. Yo, how long you gonna have AB out there panhandling, brother?
He had $13. This is true. He posted this. Hold on a second, Georgie. He posted this on social media a couple of weeks ago. We actually went over it on here. That he had $13 in his bank account. He actually left the bank routing number on there. I traced the routing number back to an Ohio bank. So I'm assuming it was all legit. He had 13. Then he said he turned it into 13 million. He said he turned it. Listen, I don't know how he did that because I know he didn't get paid 13 million for the fight. So, I don't know. But yeah, hopefully he made enough money to pay back that girl that he assaulted so he doesn't go to jail again. So there you go. Go ahead, Georgie.
Listen, that's a mirage, baby. It ain't no 13 million. These people, yo, the audacity that they got with these fucking people. I mean, when we even talk about refereeing, baby, this is when we go back to the same shit I talked for years, man. All that shit come from the top. That dude never won that. Doesn't matter what, he was closed, wasn't closed, he wasn't there for him to have it from the gate. You know, I don't even understand how people get exploded by these mafia with these fucking mirages and shit. Fucking thing is disgusting. Fuck AB. Listen, anybody talking about AB in a fucking main event should be left out of the sport. Maybe we do a little bit of charity. We're going to have it on the undercard somewhere, you know? Maybe the preliminary fight. But these men cannot be taken serious at all. You don't have the service. In other words, fuck them. Move on. Now let's talk about the Jews. Yo, Valdez, he stole the fucking show. He stole the weekend. Oh my God, that was the most beautiful performance I've seen since Mayweather.
Yeah, that was good.
Straight up. As a matter of fact, these men win. He won Beretta. He won Ramon Marquez. I mean, the IQ was fucking out of the charts. Amazing. And you know what thing that played out, I think, on the game? Right when they hit the mid-round, that Valdez needed to take that second win, the youth, that played the fucking key factor there. The youth, that's what brought these men to that level. That youth factor determined that fight, in my opinion. I mean, oh, and another thing, we know that Berchelt, he's like, he was not that good. He's more like a straight-up fighter and whatnot, but he know his shit. It ain't no way out there you defend it so many times. You know? If you don't know, you crap. But he don't underestimate fucking Valdez punches. These men were throwing thunder out there. Yo, I caught that bazooka jab. Got him every time. Then like the fucking Andrew was saying that then he blinded after the jab move, straight that right hand down the pipe. Didn't see shit coming. And when TDD Bradley was talking about the uppercut was there all day, that was true. He would have fucking heard him even earlier if he was mixing the uppercut in there. Yo, magnificent performance, brother. Magnificent. The man was, I mean, yo, you got to put him out there. These men can go legendary, straight up. That could be the new phase right there for the Mexicans. I'm lying. I'm on the hype train too much. Too much on the wagon. Yo.
Is he done?
It's speechless. Goddamn it, speechless.
He asked us a hypothetical question or something. I thought it was rhetorical, but I
thought it was rhetorical too. What was the question, Georgie?
He goes, "Am I lying?" Like, do you need? What do you need us to answer? Whether you're lying?
Right, that's kind of a rhetorical question.
Yo, he's Valdez, the new comment. He's not the man. He's the new comment, brother.
You go through this all the time. I mean,
he's the chosen one.
You tend to go overboard a lot of times. Like, okay, like I like Valdez. It was a great performance, great fight, but
it's one fight.
I'm not going to sit here and say that he's Julio Cesar Chavez right now. Like, I think he still has more to do to fill those shoes. The way you're talking about him, you want to put him in the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
Right. Closest thing you got to Chavez right now is Canelo.
Well, just take it easy.
Right, but based on that performance, right? So
one performance.
Okay, you're the type of guy. You're the type of guy. You're the type of guy who'll have a bad performance and then you'll jump ship on him.
Right.
You're a fair weathered fan.
Nah, bro. Maybe I don't listen. You can be fucking throwing this campaign against me. You're a fair weathered fan. Come on.
You're a fair weathered fan. That's what you are. You're getting all excited about this. Then he'll have a bad performance. Then he'll have a bad performance one day, and you'll say he sucks. That's how you are.
I thought it was a good call, Georgie. This is why I voted for you for caller of the year.
Nah. Listen. Let's put the record straight. Let's say like AJ. AJ is my favorite heavyweight. That's my dude. But guess what? I think he's juicing. He could be juicing. Can I prove it? No. But I think he is.
Stop it.
He's still my favorite. Yo, man, whether juicing, all these niggas juicing, man. You know what I'm saying? So fuck that. So it's not that guy switching them. My last alliance is to the sport.
This is your caller of the year.
That's my baby right there. The sport. Not the person
I bragged too soon.
I
bragged too soon on him.
Here he goes with his conspiracy theories again. You knew he was going to drop a conspiracy theory. Without dropping a conspiracy theory. You know that.
But check it, Joe Valdez, if he face a court, Chaco, we ain't got no eye test on cat. What Chaco got on his record? Because this is the problem. Everybody start barking, but what is there that we can see tangible? What the fuck we measuring on? We know Valdez what he can do against a what was the 6-time fucking champion? How many X's did nigga have, Berchelt?
Do you take hits of crack before you call the show? I brag on you. I make you caller of the year, and this is what you give me. Nonsense.
What is wrong with this kid?
With you?
What I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you tangible evidence. I'm asking you a legit question.
Did you spell that? All right. Did you spell tangible evidence?
That shitty ass record. Anything to compare next to Valdez. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, Coco.
We need subtitles, man.
We do. All right, Georgie, we're going to get rolling, man.
Hey, thanks, Georgie.
You're the man. Georgie's on point, according to Rob87.
Everybody out there, support the channel. Don't forget to donate. Hit that motherfucking thumbs up. And I'm outie.
All right, buddy. Jesus.
my look at Milcar in the chat says he better be black. He better be black. No, he's Puerto Rican.
He is. And you notice that and Milcar, he's too loose with the N-word. Yeah, he is.
He's Puerto Rican, bro. He ain't black.
I know, right? I was thinking that same thing. Like he's real loose with that, son.
Yeah.
Claudia Flores says he should share so we're all on the same page. I agree. All right. Let's keep it going. 779 Chicago, I think. 779 Illinois somewhere. 779, you're live.
You better believe it.
Kevin from Chicago. You hear Vito give you a shout out, huh?
Hey, appreciate you asking that question.
Yeah.
Well, we never would have heard the end of it if we didn't.
I was going to get to the question. Beeb's the one,
I was adamant. Beebs came through. I was adamant. I was going to throw a fit if you guys didn't ask that question, but you did.
All right.
I appreciate that. We don't got many Polish fighters, so the ones we do, I want to see them rep it.
All right.
So,
man.
anyways, I'm going to get to my point regarding Josh Kelly. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Hello? Okay. Josh Kelly. Man, it's just another English fighter's getting beat down, man. Week after week, it seems like it. Week after week, where he goes, Dale Smith, Josh Warrington, Charlie Edwards. I can just keep going on and on. It's just never ending. And I've been saying the same thing. Everyone's saying, "Oh, you're just a hater. You're just you're this and that." I don't enjoy coming out here and trashing English fighters, but they're getting exposed. They got the money behind them, and they can't live up to it. When they step up in competition, they face the actual decent fighters. They get exposed. You see, well, Callum Smith, his big win against that washed-up George Groves, who retired, and everyone's saying, "Oh, he's the number one super middleweight." He hasn't done nothing. He hasn't beaten anybody. And people were already saying, "Oh, he's big and he's lengthy. He might be able to beat Canelo." And no way he's going to get folded, just like Rocky Fielding. And what happened? He got destroyed. I don't know what it is, man. I think it's because they got a lot of money behind them. They get these opportunities to become world champions. I just think people from other parts of the world wouldn't get the same opportunity that these English fighters get. And I just don't think they get the money and the privilege behind them, and they're finally getting exposed. And everyone wants to call me a hater. Nope. It's coming to fruition week after week. Josh Kelly, another English type job, gets destroyed. What do you guys think? Am I being too harsh? I don't think so.
Kind of harsh.
Well,
kind of harsh.
I don't think you're a hater. I think you're a little xenophobic, though.
Oh, stop it. Stop it, Beeb. What's the matter with you?
But everyone has a right to their own
opinion. I'm just saying, man.
They do.
I've been saying this for probably about 8 months now. Like about 8 months I've been trashing English fighters. I actually said boycott English fighters. They're overrated. They suck. They're privileged. This and that. I've been saying that. I've been going that hard on them.
What about Anthony Joshua?
Just week after week.
Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fighting for the baddest man on the planet award.
Nigerian. Anthony Joshua is Nigerian. Anthony Joshua is Nigerian. Tyson Fury is an Irish gypsy traveler. Not the
he just took him right out of England.
From a different cloth.
Kevin, I like how you just I like how you just did that, Kevin. That was slick.
That was good. He thought about that, didn't he? He thought about that. He thought about how to
good.
take them out of England. He thought about how to take them out of England.
Correct.
They just live there. They're not born and bred, though. They're not born and bred. They just live there. They have a residence there. They don't really live there.
They're cut from a different cloth. What is it? They got that immigrant mentality, like Joey Diaz says. They got that immigrant mentality.
Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz.
Just like Stipe Miocic.
Just like Stipe Miocic.
Stipe, son.
His name isn't
Title
Bill
Town,
Jones.
baby.
His name is Stipe Miocic. They're cut from a different cloth. They're
Born
cut
and
from a
bred.
different cloth. It's just the way it is, and that's not politically correct. But
Kevin's calls are getting better.
They are.
His calls are getting much better.
He's stepping up his game.
Kevin,
he might be nominated. Who knows?
He may be in the running for Caller of the Year if he keeps coming up. These are pretty solid.
He's
calls.
bringing heat. He's bringing heat. That's what we like.
Had some good comebacks today. Put the Beeb in his place a little bit. Which is extremely hard to do.
No, it is what it is, man. It's just, even though they may be born here, Joshua, their parents come from a country that's not. They bring a different mindset. Even their grandparents, maybe they come and they bring a different mindset. It's just, I hate when people use that argument with Joshua. He's English. Tyson Fury, he's English. No, man. Tyson Fury is a gypsy traveler. He was persecuted. You saw him out in the marches saying, Gypsy lives matter, this and that, traveler lives matter.
Gypsy lives matter.
Different things.
Oh my God.
Oh, you guys didn't see that?
Do they have gypsy? Do they have
out marching?
Do they have those? Do they have those Gypsy Lives Matter T-shirts? I'm gonna buy one.
I think so, man. He was out there doing his thing, saying, protesting for persecution of gypsies out in England. So it is what it is, and I'm gonna continue trashing English fighters until they show me something different. But the Josh Kellys, the Callum Smith, the Josh Warringtons, the Charlie Edwards, the Rocky Fielding, all these soft privileged English dudes, they just continue to get destroyed. And I said they don't deserve the opportunities they get, but because they get the money behind them, they get the backing, because boxing's so popular in England, they get these massive opportunities that way more talented fighters should be getting over them. And that's just the way it is. People are going to get their feelings hurt when I say that, but I don't take anything back. But I'll leave you guys to it. Thanks for taking the time.
All right, Kevin. Thank you so much. Kevin, killing it here. Killing it. Beeb, thank you so much. Let's see here. For Aaron Daly, thank you so much. We saw that. Aaron Daly said he loves Georgie, put some respect on his name, and it wouldn't be complete without Jason didn't call in. He said he's a big Jason fan too. So let's give him what he wants. 706, you're live.
Hey, Jason. How you doing?
What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Good match. Great fight last night. Valdez looked great, man.
Yeah, Valdez looked really good.
Great fight.
Did he just he gave an ESPN card a compliment?
He sure did.
Oh my God, he just said an ESPN card was good.
I told you.
Wow.
I told you, he's done found a chick. He's done found a girl. Wow. He done settled him down. Now he's making sense now.
Good for him, man.
Good.
Do you guys think Berchelt? You guys think Berchelt had a bad weight cut or something, or maybe the COVID had anything to do with it, or no?
Nope.
He looked kind of weak from the get go, didn't he?
Nope. He was 147 pounds coming in there. He wasn't weak.
Well, nope. Tim Bradley said that.
What was that? What was Valdez fight night weight? Do you guys know?
What was the Valdez fight at? 130.
Yeah. No. Yeah. What was his weight? No.
What was Valdez's weight? What was it? 137. Wasn't his like 137 or something like that? He didn't gain that much.
He didn't gain that much.
No.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys before last night. What would you say was Valdez's best win before last night? What was his best win?
I don't know.
Steve, you want to answer
that?
Quigg, maybe. Quigg. That was a solid win.
I would probably say Quigg.
Yeah, it was a solid win
because he wasn't expected to beat Quigg.
I just want to know. I just want to I'm always trying to expose double standards and the hatred for PBC because I heard a lot about Leo being a 122 pounder, 126 pounder. He hasn't proven himself. But wouldn't you say Leo beating Mars and Frampton is a lot better than beating Quigg?
Yeah.
Isn't that more accomplished?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to. Yeah,
I think if you put the resumes together, Leo definitely has a better resume. Sure. I don't have any problem saying that.
And he was a 4-division champion, division champion, whatever.
Valdez still has a lot to prove. I mean, he had a great win last night. Don't get me wrong, but he still has a lot to prove.
Yeah.
But the caveat to that is I want to see him again.
He looks
you know.
Yeah, I do too. And I want to see him versus Tank. I think that's the pay-per-view fight we need. I mean, I don't want to see Shakur versus Valdez. Fuck that. Tank versus Valdez is the fight we need. I'll pay for that. I don't care. I'll pay whatever they want to charge.
Well, Tank's a big name. Tank's a big name in that division. I think he brings asses to the seats.
The biggest name.
I wouldn't disagree with that at 130. Yeah, I think he is the biggest name.
Tank is the biggest name for 126 to 140. There's nobody that's selling that many tickets or selling that many pay-per-view from 126 to 140.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And also, I'll send you the Google Trends data last night. Broner did like twice the number of Google Trends, like Google searches, and he was number one. And also, I'm sure ESPN ratings did good. And yeah, so he was number one, and he was trending he was trending number one in a couple of countries. So Broner, he looked kind of bad. He was rusty. It's been 2 years, but.
I think that's the thing. I don't care what he trended on Google. I know he's great on Instagram and everything like that, and people like his videos and stuff like that. Listen, people like Jake Paul's videos too. Doesn't mean we want to see him in the ring anytime soon.
He sure looked better, dude.
Yeah, but can I say something? And I don't mean to insult Adrien Broner.
Yeah,
but Adrien Broner gets a lot of hits and gets a lot of searches because people want to see what crazy thing he did next. You know what I mean? It's not. It's almost like they're not looking to see what he's doing because they're excited. It's not like they're huge fans. Yeah, they're not. They're not like really admiring him. They like kind of seeing the train wreck. You know what I mean? That's more or less what it is at this point, in my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but
no, it's good. He didn't look that good. I wasn't impressed. I thought Easter looked very sharp. Like I haven't seen Easter in a while. Like you look pretty good, man.
Easter looks
I
really
want to
good.
see Easter with Barrios next. What do you think about that, Robert? What do you think about that, Eric? I mean,
phenomenal fight. Yeah.
Barrios Easter, man, that's a good one. I don't think they want to. I don't think both those guys are ready for Regis. Regis might be too much for them. So they should probably just fight each other.
Yeah.
Regis probably fouls both of them.
Barrios has shown. Barrios is a solid fighter, but he's shown a little bit of vulnerability here and there, But the thing I like about Barrios is he finishes the fight. He finishes the fight strong. That's what I love about him.
I wish he was training with RGBA like Robert Garcia. I think he'd be a lot better. I'm not a fan of Virgil Hunter or anything, but
Oh, Virgil Hunter's terrible.
Probably get a lot of better. He's like a part-time trainer, just doing it.
He really is. He really is. I've never seen other than Andre Ward. I mean, name somebody else he's really trained and taken to the promised land.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But you said
Fonfora, is that what you said? Yeah, right. Yeah, you remember that fight? How that went? Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, that guy was bad. Well, did you guys see Hurd? He's back in shape, man. I can't wait for him to fight. Him versus Harrison or somebody. I want to see that fight. That's the kind of fight we need. And what do you guys think about Virgil Ortiz? Do you know who he's fighting next?
I don't know.
He needs to step it up, man. He needs to step up the position. I think he's ready to go. He needs to step it up. He needs to fight somebody like Jesse Vargas or somebody like Rashidi Ellis. I don't know why he's fighting like Samuel Vargas and shit.
Yeah.
They need to step up his competition.
I would agree.
But what about Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, man? Like, since Ryan and Tank can't come to agreement, why don't those two just fight each other? They're 135-pounders, same network. Eddie's there, the zone is there. Why don't they just?
Because it's the easiest fight to make. Why it's not happening? I have no idea.
The media doesn't ask for it either. They don't ask Eddie about it. They're just like, oh, they're always talking about PBC's blocking this, blocking that. How about you guys make some fucking in-house fights that are good instead of blaming PBC?
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Caleb Plant will fight Canelo Alvarez by the end of this year?
If he doesn't, I don't care because I don't think he's going to win. I'd rather just see the Benavidez fight first.
I would like to see the Benavidez.
I'm not worried about Caleb Plant.
Do you think Canelo beats David Benavidez?
I like the Jacobs fight too. If Plant versus Jacobs, what do you like that?
That's a good fight. I like that fight too. Do you think Benavidez beats? Do you think Benavidez beats Canelo?
Go ahead.
Do you think Benavidez beats Canelo?
Nah, hell no.
No. I think
he's too flat-footed. Like he's too flat-footed.
Yeah. I think that would be Canelo's biggest challenge at 168. In my opinion. Do you think that would be Canelo's toughest fight at 168?
Robert Garcia said Charlo is because of the jab. Because Charlo's jab is really powerful. He said he'll probably give Canelo the biggest, toughest fight. That's what Garcia said.
Yeah.
So I tend to agree with that.
Charlo's good. Charlo's tough.
Man, what he did to Derevyanchenko was underrated. People don't give him credit for that. Like, I was watching some highlights of Derevyanchenko.
That was a good fight. Yeah, that was a good win for him.
That was a great win.
Really good win for him.
He was hitting GGG at will, man. GGG couldn't stop him at all.
Yep. I agree. All right, Jason, we're going to get rolling here, man.
You guys see Charlo's all right, guys.
All right, man.
Peace.
All right, let's go to 612. 612, you're live.
Yo.
Who are we speaking with?
Andre. What's up?
Andre, what's happening, man?
Hey, what's happening, brother?
Yeah, hey, no, I was gonna say, it's just, to me, it's like a sad state in boxing that guys like Dominic, Brazile can make it to the. I mean, it's a sad. It tells you that heavyweight boxing is so top heavy that guys like him can even make it to top 15. Yeah, I don't want to see him ever again. And Oscar Valdez, he had a career-defining fight last night, and I don't know. To me, I think he is in the Hall of Fame because he's been at the top for a while now. He's been at the top since like 2013, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I want to see him against. Tank Davis. And I think he called him out on Twitter. So Tank Davis called out Oscar Valdez on Twitter. So hopefully we can get that fight sometime this year. Yeah. That's it.
All right, man.
All right.
Very good. Thank you so much for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, bro.
All right. 602. 602, you're live.
Yo, what's up, man? It's Brandon from Phoenix. How you
Brandon from Phoenix. What's happening, man?
Brandon, what's cracking, Brandon? What's cracking?
Hey, not much, man. Hey, man, you know, I was talking that shit last time I called the show, and boxing provided us with a pretty good weekend of fight, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. That's right. We got to be
this
happy.
This is one of the better weekends in a while.
Got to be happy with it. We can't complain.
So, you know, I want to say a quick thing about the Wallin and what's in Big Dom. You know, I wasn't surprised that Wallin beat him, but I thought Dom would put a little bit more on him. I thought it was going to be a closer fight. I mean, Wallin just pretty much beat him up.
Pretty much, yeah. I didn't know who. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know who to pick in that fight, and then you know, I was leaning toward Wallin, but I didn't expect that. I mean, that was one sided.
I picked Wallin, but I thought Brazile was going to win a few more rounds than two.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit tighter than it was. I mean, that was that was hard to watch.
He got beat up in that fight.
Yeah,
man, it was a whitewash. Yeah, and you know, by like the 8th round, I was like, all right, I'm kind of done with this. So I'm trying to flip back and forth to the other cards, you know. And once the other fight got started, man, it was a great fight between Valdez and Berchelt. You know, and I thought Berchelt was going to win. Steve, what was the odds coming into the fight?
4-1.
Berchelt was as high as 4-1. Yeah, very high.
I think they bet him down by fight time. It was 3-1 by fight time. But yeah, that's still pretty high too.
Yeah, he was a huge favorite, bro.
Pretty high. I mean,
yeah.
So you know, a little bit surprised, but I'll tell you this: this is another one of those fights to me that goes down. And to me, the problem I have with this fight is the trainer. Why did Berchelt's trainer at least try to have some type of game plan for the left hook? Because to me, Valdez, it was a great performance and everything like that, but all he proved is that he could throw a left hook. We all knew that coming into the fight. You know what I'm saying? He just landed it early and often. And so that was my one problem with how Berchelt people went about it. Because I still think Berchelt if they have a rematch, you know, but I think they might have to go up a weight class because Berchelt is getting older. I think maybe the weight might have affected him a little bit too. But man, he took some punches. I haven't seen anybody take punches like that since Wayne McCullough. He took some punches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sure did. He sure did.
He showed a lot of courage in that fight, man. He had a lot of heart. He had a lot of heart and courage in that fight. I got to give him credit for that.
I thought they should have stopped it. Yeah. I thought they should have stopped it, but
I did
a little
too.
earlier than
I would have stopped it in the fourth if I had to say. Yeah, I would have.
Really,
I
would have let it go a little longer, but in the fourth.
I mean, his legs look bad in the fourth.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Pretty Boy Kelly, man? Because I thought that it was another entertaining fight. I'm surprised he went out like that, but I think maybe the blood affected him. But you know what? For me, I just look at both of these guys as good opponents for any one of these 154 pounders that wins or loses or whatever. You know, after watching this fight, I would be excited to see Pretty Boy Kelly versus one of them young 154 pounders. Like, what's the boy who got knocked out by Charlo?
Oh, there's a lot of guys that got knocked out by Charlo.
About 30 of them.
The young guy.
Erickson
young
Lubin?
prospect.
You talking about Erickson Lubin?
Lubin, yeah. Like, I'd like to see Lubin versus Avenissian and Pretty Boy Kelly.
Not a huge.
I wouldn't mind watching that.
I've never been a huge Josh Kelly fan. I thought Avenissian was going to beat him. I didn't think he was going to knock him out like that, but I thought he was going to win the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, it was entertaining, and he had his moments.
Oh, it was a great fight.
I'd rather see somebody like that.
It was a good fight. I have no problem with the fight. I have no problem with the fight. You know. It was a good fight.
Anyway, man. So I'll let y'all go, man. Y'all be easy, all right, bro?
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Brandon from Phoenix. All right, before we go to the last caller of the night here, let's go over the news here real quick. Sean Porter turns down $2 million to face Terrence Crawford. Sean Porter says, quote, "I understand the business of boxing at this point, and to even begin negotiations at $2 million is an insult. And everybody in the sport of boxing knows the welterweight division is the hottest division in boxing. We command a lot of money. We command a lot of attention, and this fight will do all that and more." For him, meaning Bob Arum, to say that that's old-fashioned, that he's old-fashioned, and for him to say that $1 million isn't chump change, it's not chump change for somebody else, but to Sean Porter, it's chump change. Wow.
Well, did they up it to $2 million then?
Yeah, they offered him $2 million.
And then
$2 million.
He didn't want to take that.
He didn't want it. So I don't know that he wants to fight. What's he think he's going to get for this fight? What does he think this fight's actually worth?
How much did he get to fight Spence? Didn't he get $2 million to fight Spence?
I don't know. Something around there, right?
Yeah. So
I remember we looked it up.
Yeah, I think he got $2 million to fight Spence. So I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, well, here's the thing: you put the fight on pay-per-view. This is what you tell them: say, okay, we'll give you $2 million, and we'll put the fight on pay-per-view, and then if it does over a certain amount of pay-per-view buys, then we'll give you a piece of the revenue.
Yeah, D-Style makes a good point too. He's coming off losses. I mean, it's not like you're tearing it up out there. I mean, you're coming off losses. He lost to Errol Spence. All his big fights he's lost. Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, he's lost them all. Am I wrong?
I thought Ugas beat him too.
I thought Ugas beat him too.
You got lucky to get a win in there.
Yeah, and I get it. He's a hard guy to fight. I get that. But, look, I mean, what makes you think you're worth more than $2 million?
What did Kell Brook get? Didn't Kell Brook get $2 million?
I think so. Yeah, Kell Brook did get $2 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thank you so much, D-Style. We appreciate it. And catch D-Style on, when is the Hispanics Causing Panic show? Is that Thursdays?
That's Thursdays, yeah.
Thursdays.
It's actually Tuesdays is on G Funky's channel, but the round table we have is on Thursdays.
Okay, then on Tuesday, I believe it's the HCP show, the Hispanics Causing Panic. Tune in. D-Style's going to take a pie in the face for betting on Berchelt. So there you go. Yeah. Tuesday, yes, there it is. Tuesday. So tune in on Tuesday and watch him take a pie. He's going to take the pie, Beeb.
Yeah.
All right. Also, too, Alexander Povetkin and Dillian White postponed until March 27th due to COVID travel restrictions. That is what it is. Maybe that fight will take place. Maybe it won't. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. 312. I believe this is Chicago. Is this Chicago, Beeb?
No, I think it's the Fight Doctor. Isn't this
the Fight Doctor? 312, you're live.
Fight Doctor's in the house. Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status as always. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's happening, man?
Kick the knowledge to Eric. Let him know what's up.
So I have to disagree with the whole notion that Sean Porter's coming off a loss. I mean, his last fight was a win. Now, yes, his last big fight was a loss.
Right.
However, it's inaccurate to say that he's lost all of his big fights because he did win the fight against Danny Garcia.
I think
if
he's lost most of his big fights.
Well, I thought he lost that fight, by the way, but
I think the Danny Garcia. Okay, well, I mean, it's on the record. It's in the record book as a win.
Sure.
Both fight, I thought the decision was fair.
Get him.
And I also think that qualifies as a big fight. Now, having said that, if Kell No Look Brook can get $2 million to fight for the Crawford fight, then I think it's reasonable that Sean Porter should be able to get the same or more.
Well, he's going to get the same. They offered him $2 million.
At least
he turned down $2 million too.
Yeah, he turned down $2 million. And besides, Kell Brook beat Sean Porter.
Listen, maybe he's working with a different set of numbers. I mean, I don't know, but here's what I do know.
We're all working with a different set of numbers. We all want to be millionaires.
What? Well, yeah, true. Well, we all want to be millionaires, okay? But look, Sean Porter is actually a millionaire. So he's working with different mathematics than us broke people are, okay?
Speak for yourself.
Nonetheless, I think that listen, I don't see a problem with him asking for more than $2 million. I mean, if Kell Brook got $2 million, and Kell Brook hasn't done anything in the 47-pound division lately, and Sean Porter recently held a title in the division. He does have some wins over some good names. I don't see a problem. I don't see a problem. But that's neither here nor there. The Rona has just sort of only messed up the economics of boxing. And that's not actually what I called to talk about. What I want to talk about is Adrien about bullshit Broner. And do you guys think that perhaps this guy could be a possible Mayweather opponent?
Yes.
If Floyd should, because I'm thinking that Mayweather is coming out of retirement, and he doesn't want to fight anybody for real. And certainly, I think at this point, Adrien Broner fits that category as being someone who isn't for real.
I think I'll tell you what. I think it's more apt that it's going to be an exhibition versus a real fight. But I think that fight could happen. Absolutely. I mean, Floyd's fighting Jake Paul and Logan Paul and 50 Cent, and he's carrying on this little charade or whatever he's doing. He's fighting some guy in Japan, probably. I mean, he's not going to fight a real fighter. And right now, I mean, Adrien Broner, I would still bet on Floyd in that fight. I don't know that I'd bet on that fight anyway, but I'd still take Floyd in that fight. I don't know Floyd, but Floyd hasn't looked good in a long, long time either. But Broner hasn't looked good in a long, long time either. Neither one of they're both about the same activity level. I don't know. Could it happen? Yeah, it could absolutely. Will it happen? Probably.
Yeah, listen, the Broner that I saw last night looked like done.
He was done.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, because
he was done. Okay, I mean the guy his counter shots were short, and it seemed like they were short on purpose. Now, he did some good work. He did a little bit of good work when he opened up and started throwing punches towards like 6, 7 rounds, whenever it was. But it was too little, too late. And Beeb, I must disagree. I think it was you, Beeb, who said that this fight wasn't a robbery. I disagree.
No, I didn't say that. Eric said that. Eric said that.
No, I don't think the fight was a robbery. No, I don't think the fight was a robbery.
I think it was a bad decision. I
think it was a bad decision. I don't think it was a robbery.
Eric said it wasn't a robbery, not me.
No, that was not a bad decision. That was a daylight robbery. That was a Brinks job. There's no way in hell Broner won that fight. Look at this. Look, I'm not a proponent of punch stats, right? I'm not. I think punch stats are complete BS. However, they do serve a purpose in that I think that they can give you an idea of the overall tone and tenor of the fight. And what I saw was one guy in retreat, missing a ton of punches, and the other guy coming forward trying to make the fight and actually making a fight out of it. and the judges were out to lunch. So yeah, that was a robbery. In my book, that qualifies as a robbery.
I think it was a very bad decision.
Unrepentant, unapologetic, unadulterated robbery. No question. I mean, those judges should be fired. They should be hung. They should be burned at the stake. They should be ordered
It's a family show.
Well, listen. Santiago has family, has a family, and he needs to be able to feed his family. And
That's
the man
a great
lost.
point.
I'm sorry,
That's a
the
good.
man won.
That's a solid.
Okay?
That's a solid
So-
comeback.
so-
That's a solid comeback. That's a good comeback from you. Go ahead.
Okay? They're denying, look, those judges are denying this man the ability to make money, to put food on the table, to feed his children. Okay?
Wow.
So, and look, that was a robbery. That was shameful, that decision.
Should have your own
Shameful.
television show.
And one of the judges had it, 117, 111? 117, 110? It was some ridiculously wide score in favor of Broner. My question to you is, did you fill the fight card? Did you fill your cards out before the first bell rang?
They
Because
did.
that's what it seemed like to me.
It was a
Because
horrible.
that score was
scorecards.
fucking ridiculous. And I can't put it any other way.
Really bad scorecards.
Yeah, because I didn't see that fight at all. All right, I'm sorry. Look, listen, I can stomach a bad decision. I can stomach a bad scorecard, but this was not that. This was something else. This was larceny on the grandest of scale.
Well,
all right?
well. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you see the scorecards that wide, and all three of them are that wide, that it doesn't look good. You knew that there was some type of agenda going on. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
You knew the kid wasn't going to win unless he knocked him out. That's the only conclusion you can come to when you see a scorecard like that.
Yeah, I think Broner won 4 rounds top, and maybe that's even being a bit generous.
Yeah.
Well, one guy showed up to fight, one other guy just showed up, and the judges seemed like they showed up with their scorecards already filled out.
Makes a good point. Because again, if you could point to that first round, you could point to that first round, and when no punches were landed, and he got that. But to be fair, neither one of the guys did much in the first round. But if you look at the overall body of work in the fight, one guy was busier, one guy was more accurate, and that guy lost the fight. You know?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, ridiculous.
All right, Fight Doctor, we're going to get rolling, man. We appreciate it. It was a good call today, man. Fight Doctor brought it today, didn't he, Beeb?
Everyone had good calls today, man. I think everyone.
All right.
Maybe took the ginkgo biloba or whatever it is, but they took, they were on point tonight.
There you go. Let's go to El Paso. I think this might be D-Style. 915, you're live.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I had crow for breakfast. I had crow for lunch. I'm having crow right now.
You have a nice pie.
I did not see that coming.
I didn't see it coming either. None of us saw it coming.
Let me down. Beeb guaranteed me that Rochelle was going to win. I feel that now.
It was the Beeb's 4-star parlay, man. 4-star special.
I'll tell you this. I called G Funky Friday night, had a nice conversation with him, and I changed my pick because G Funky convinced me. So you guys don't want to listen. I listen to G Funky. When are you guys gonna smarten up?
I had Valdez by 10th round TKO also. Corey, I heard Corey Lee had Valdez by 10th round KO.
And he picked Leo, so it's all good. You know what I mean? But here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say, man. Great performance by Valdez. I noticed 2 things. He's no longer like admiring his work like you would in previous fights. You know, he was doing a really good job, and maybe, Reynoso really got on him for this one, saying you cannot just stand there after throwing a combination against Berchelt. You're going to have to move, and I really love the way he was sticking and moving. And as frustrating as it was watching for someone going for Berchelt, the way he would just lock him up, hold him, turn him, every time he got him against the ropes, which is where Berchelt wanted to get him, made him do all that work, then he would hold him, turn him. And you know what? If the ref doesn't do anything about it, it's up to Berchelt to do something about that. Like, you can't just look at the ref every time you're being held like that. Also, Berchelt's corner should have done something to tell the ref, just to get it in his head, plant that seed early, like, hey, the holding, and all that good stuff. But no complaints here, no excuses. I think the better man won. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about, he was weight trained. Look, Berchelt's always been the big guy for the weight. That's one of his advantages, So you got to take, you have to take the losses when they come, and if he moves up, he moves up. I hope he's okay. I'm in agreement with Beeb. When I watched the fight, he almost bailed out Berchelt. I felt like if he didn't stop it right there, we might have another Mercer-Morrison situation where he just mercifully, just nailing him against the ropes. I just don't see how Berchelt would have gotten out of that, to be honest with you. He kind of saved him there. I don't know. Maybe he's just giving him the benefit of the doubt because he's a champion, but I felt the fight was going too long. And one more thing. Berchelt goes back to his corner. This was brought to my attention, and I watched it. After the 9th round, he said, "Ya valió verga," which basically means I'm fucked. And I think he knew he was going to go out on his shield. Like he knew he was going to get knocked out. And he just went out there and he said, "You know what? I'm just going to throw caution to the wind, try to get my helmet, my haymaker, and if I don't, it is what it is." But they should have stopped it earlier, in my opinion. But they didn't. What are you going to do? He went out on his shield, guys.
Did what he had to do, man. That's it. D-Style, do me a favor. Tell us where you are on Tuesday. Tell us how to reach HCP on Tuesday if we want to watch.
HCP, just type D-Style Boxing. My channel will come up. It's right there every Tuesday. Chief Funky Boxing on Wednesdays for HCP Uncensored. So, push it to HCP. But if you want to know where I'm going to take the pie, yes, it's on Tuesday on my channel. And I'm going to have to take the pie. It is what it is. You got to be a man of your word and then live up to your bet. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it proudly for Berchelt. Berchelt got knocked out. When he went down, I went down with him. So I got to take the pie.
Did you pick Josh Kelly too? Because Beeb had a nice pickup with Avenissian on the
No. No, actually, I didn't even.
I picked Avenissian.
They were 1 for 3 this weekend, Beeb. Hey, so do me a favor. When you take a pie, don't take a pie like Beeb does. Don't take a pie like Beeb does and just like rub it on his nose. Take a pie like I take it, like a man takes it, and just boom, Everybody's seen how Beeb takes his little pies.
It has to be messy. It's got to be worth it. And
I don't want to get it in my eyes. You know how that is. I don't want to get the cream in my eyes.
I don't want to get it in my eyes.
No, it is.
All right, D-Style, we're going to get running, man.
Calls. Good show.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks.
HCP, just D-Style on YouTube, man. Go check it out. It's a great show. Last call of the night, 619, San Diego, you're live.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Steve, Eric,
Chakal.
What's up there?
I'm going to tell you what, man. This is the guy you bet with right now. He's hot as a pistol right now, man.
What's up, Daddy Warbucks?
No, first of all, I just want to give Steve credit too because, I think he's probably feeling like I felt with Teofimo and Loma. In that one, I was very, very confident that Loma was going to win the fight, and Steve was very confident on Teofimo. I didn't listen on him. And, he took me to school, so I give him all the credit on that.
Josh Kelly, did that bust any of your parlays? Did that bust any of your parlays yesterday, the Josh Kelly thing?
Yeah, it did. But
would the Beeb tell you about that? Would the Beeb tell you about that? Would the Beeb tell you about that one?
Yeah, it's like
90 seconds.
You need to understand that. Well, you need to understand that, like, there's been crazy decisions in the UK right now that it makes me doubt. I didn't think that Avenissian was gonna knock him out. So it was like I knew it was a fight that it was very even, but I thought that being the local there, I didn't think he was gonna have a chance. I don't know if you guys saw the fight of Kiko Martinez last week, but I thought that basically he won
60
the fight.
seconds.
And you see the scorecards; they were like super wide. So I didn't think he was gonna. I thought maybe like if he went to the decision, it was gonna be for Kelly. So I was impressed that he got knocked out. And what can I say about that one, right? It was a good fight, but obviously You know, I told you a lot about the Valdez. I was very, very impressed with his performance. I knew that Berchelt wasn't that good. I knew that his level of opposition was average. If you go like average and then going a little bit lower, because I mean he had a couple of good names, but they were on their way out. And even that Valdez didn't have any. I just felt Valdez was getting prepared very well for the
10 seconds.
He had a really good corner. I was a little bit hesitating to see if he was gonna be able to execute the plan. But the last week we have Caballero in our show a couple of times, and we had it actually on Friday. So a couple of days before that, when I knew that he was having trouble with his visa, he was maybe not going, I was taking all the intangibles into consideration to see what was going to happen, the outcome. And I felt that, you know, it was just like the weight, it was going to be a big factor for Berchelt. Berchelt looked really ripped. And I just didn't think, I mean, he got positive from COVID. And I just didn't think like, you know, I saw the fight with Jason Sosa, and I saw him really slow. And I was like, you know what? I really don't think it's going to be anything different, you know. And I know that he's going to rehydrate a lot. I know that he's going to be weighing very close to a welter. So his punches are going to be wide, and his power is going to be there a little bit. But he's also very slow, and he hasn't fought a guy that can move like fast. And I think Valdez, what I saw in the videos, the way they were training, he was doing like the right thing. What I thought it was going to be like getting inside, throw a couple of punches, and then move. I never expected the switch of guard. That one I like a lot. So, you know, I felt really, really bad for Berchelt because I like the guy. I know him, and I mean, he's a very humble person. And I don't think he deserved to go that way, you know. I think the last caller mentioned what he said on the 9th round. I think in the 9th round, Caballero should have stopped the fight. He should have stopped it in the corner instead of motivating the guy, because his answer was, no. It's like, this is not going to hell, or no valió verga. You just need to, you can still knock him out. I'm like, how do you tell that to the guy? You could see his face. He was already completely giving up.
It was done.
And, you know, he got knocked down a round prior, and then he got super lucky on the number 4 that the referee didn't stop it. He was just asking to get his fighter very, very damaged. And that's what happened. I seriously don't think Berchelt is going to be able to recover from this, because it's his second knockout, like that it's been like very, very dramatic. But this one, he was on the top. You know what I mean? He was champion. So, I mean, it's not that easy to do it like Manny Pacquiao, that you recover from something like that. There's a lot of videos on social network right now of the knockouts. And imagine when he starts seeing that, I think that's going to haunt him. And then even if he goes to the 135, he's going to feel a little bit better with the weight, I think. But at the end, it's just going to be guys that are going to be bigger, that are going to be skillful and with power. And with his lack of defense, he's going to just end up getting knocked out by other guys. I don't know, you guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think you can take a beating like that. And I mean, because he took a beating, and it wasn't even like Pacquiao Marquez. You know, Pacquiao really didn't take a beating in that fight. It was both ways. It was give and take. It wasn't, you know, and he got clipped by a shot. He took a beating in this fight. This was hard, man. This was a hard beating that he probably shouldn't have taken or didn't have to take. And yeah, no, I don't think you're the same after that. No.
Do you think Tank would have beat him, Berchelt?
Oh man, I don't.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. No, I think Berchelt.
After seeing what we saw, yeah.
Berchelt was pretty good. Yeah, Berchelt was pretty good, but I think a lot of them was part of the matchmaking, because just look who he faced after he beat Vargas. You know, he beat Vargas on a fight that we give him all the credit, but we need to understand that Vargas was on his way out. He had too many wars, and his last war with Siri Salido, he got all caught. So it was just a matter of time, and Berchelt took him, and he took him well. After that, Miura was the same thing. He came from 2 wars, one with Roman, one with Vargas, and he retired after that. And then after that, it was just name that they were like completely unknown. And then he got his fight with Roman, that he was already with many wars too. So like, he was well matchmaked, but he never tried to unify. He was going to unify with the Chinese or Japanese Ito, but then he lost against Herring, and he just stood there. He never took the challenge. And I think if he would have fought Herring, he probably could have won, but he he would have looked back, and that's why he didn't want to. He didn't want to get exposed because his lack of skills was there. You know what I mean? And with a guy that is kind of slick, like Herring, long guy, tall, with a good range, it would have exposed him. So it would expose his like flaws inside of the ring. So when Valdez came into the task, I think they underestimated Valdez and said, like, you know what, this is gonna be the perfect match because it's gonna be a clash. And Valdez is a small guy, so we can take him. But they never count with the fact that Valdez was gonna bring a game plan from Eddie Reynoso about sticking and moving. And the guy is like very compact, very small. You can see that he was in top shape, and he was still a little guy there. And he was able to move in the ring the way he wanted. You know what I mean? And then even in a couple of rounds, Berchelt was able to close the distance, but it's because Valdez got, I think, in my opinion, excited about what happened in the fourth round. But then you see the difference between the corners. Because, I mean, when we watched the fight on ESPN, we kind of were able to see a little bit what they were saying. I mean, it was in Spanish, but you can see what Reynoso was telling him. It's like, hey, these are your rounds. Are you hurt? No. He's like, how do you feel him? I think he's getting tired. Okay, I don't want you to abandon the plan. Keep using your jab. It's working very well. Do not lose the focus on our game plan. Don't get excited, this and that. So you can see that finally Valdez was able to trust completely in what Reynoso was telling him, because in his other fights, he was kind of like in between. Wanted to be the old warrior, but then at the same time, he wanted to box more. So in this one, he pretty much put all the trust on Reynoso, and everything worked perfectly. So, I mean, I think for me, it's probably the best victory of Reynoso as a coach. Why? Because even that he has Canelo, and Canelo's a great fighter, in the most important fights that Canelo has been, there's always been a little bit of controversy. You know, with Golovkin, he had a great plan, great strategy, but both fights were controversial with the decision. You know, some people thought Canelo lost both of the fights. And this one, everybody thought, even Chavez, you know, you saw Ring Magazine, 20 experts, 18 against Valdez, only one given the shot and one drop. And he knocked out the guy and took him to school. So I think Reynoso said it in one YouTube channel, like an interview. He said, like, this is probably my best victory as a coach. So that speaks really highly. And then there's like a video there, Canelo congratulating Oscar. So I think they have a pretty solid team. And, you know, I'm just waiting and see what else they can bring.
That's awesome, man. I tell you what, yeah, I said at the top of the show that Reynoso, if he's not trainer of the year right now, I don't know who is. He's got to be the best trainer in boxing right now. That plan that he put together last night with Berchelt, and you know, I mean, that was, and again, like I said it at the top too. I said that was a strategy. They saw something, they broke it down, and they saw something, and they executed it perfectly. And you can't do that without a good trainer. I mean, you just don't. You know, so all right, Chakal, we're gonna get running, man. We appreciate it, and yeah, like I said, man, if you guys want to bet with Chakal, man, because he is killing it lately. He's like Jim Feist over there, Beeb. Remember Jim Feist, Wayne Root, and all them. Remember that?
Yep.
The 4-star parlay of the year, baby.
That's right.
Come on, why the long face? What's the matter, Beeb?
Well,
what's the matter with you?
Being the odds with Beeb is still up there.
From Boston.
What's nothing against you? I mean, I'm just saying they're hot right now. You're hot too. You picked Josh Kelly, baby. You're the Beeb.
Pick David Avenissian, please.
Yeah, you picked David Avenissian. You're the Beeb, you know?
Why don't I get credit for that victory?
You do. I gave it to you. I thought it was great.
All right, thanks.
Let me tell you what's not so great. I hate blog talk. Why is it that they got to give me a countdown? Did you ever notice that they got to give me a countdown? Why is that?
I know.
Why do they do that? Why? Like, I can't, like, I'm not an adult. Like, I can't look at the clock and see that the clock is running down.
She's got a cute voice, though. You gotta give her that. She got a cute voice.
It's a robot English one. I don't like it. I'll tell you that right now. I don't like it.
Don't be xenophobic.
I got to fit in with Kevin, right?
That's right.
All right, guys, if you like what we're doing and everything like that, make sure to give us a thumbs up on the video. All right. Inevitably, it never always somebody gives us a thumbs down. Always. At like the beginning of the show, it's a thumbs down. You ever notice that?
There's always one.
One guy gives us the thumbs down there. That's all right though.
It wouldn't
doesn't matter.
It wouldn't complete his day if he didn't come by here on Sunday night and just hit that thumbs down button.
Love
it. He wouldn't be able to sleep.
Hey, he's coming in. Love us or hate us, you're coming in to watch. We love it.
That's right.
There it is. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. You can always catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1. You can find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com, and you can find me on Twitter at ringside73. And we will see you guys next week.